This is Ramalinga Prasad Kuppa. Welcome to my channel Pharma World. Today's topic is cleaning validation part 4, validation protocol, a practical approach. The protocol provided in the guideline is generic and should be used only as a guiding document. You cannot copy the entire content as such. It should be tailor-made to suit particular requirement very clearly. Let us see the details of protocol. The background section 9.1 should reflect the intent of the entire exercise. It is like an executive summary of the intent of the exercise. We discussed the intent of a protocol on several occasions. The protocol is also a procedure for a specific exercise for a specific product within a specific timeline with a specific focus on the intent. Remember, SOP is the terminology used for the routine operations. The background, which is given as section 9.1, should give a snapshot of the entire intent of the protocol. In this section, details of equipment to be cleaned, cleaning method used, and the cleaning agents used should be explained. Here, the information on which equipment will be cleaned after which product or group of products should be provided. Equipment means it should include all peripheral accessories. For example, if a reactor is cleaned, the connected pipelines, transfer lines, heat exchangers, etc. Unless such accessories are addressed separately. Stepwise cleaning procedure for each piece of equipment and its accessories should be described. Usage of detergents should provide the information on the dilution of detergent, if necessary, has to be provided. All these details should be the part of the protocol. If you are worried about the huge number of pages of the protocol, another detailed document which has all the information may be referred here. For example, with a brief explanation on the intent of the protocol and say the explicit details are as per the document number so and so, so and so. This approach is also acceptable. The second section, purpose 9.2, should reflect the study is to demonstrate that the residues of the previous product are within the acceptance criteria after cleaning the equipment as per the defined cleaning method. So the section 9.2 is to demonstrate the purpose of the exercise. We know already on how to calculate the acceptance criteria for the residues in earlier videos. Responsibility 9.4 section should describe detailed responsibilities of each person involved in the cleaning validation. This section is important. The responsibilities matrix should be detailed enough to capture the entire list of responsibilities. It should be described in different layers. For example, the shop floor operator may have certain amount of responsibility, whereas the supervisory level and managerial level will have enriched responsibilities. This should be captured clearly. The responsibility matrix may constitute scheduling of cleaning validation activity, cleaning of equipment, sampling, testing, and review and approval. The detailed matrix should be as follows. Depending upon the urgency and mutually agreed timelines, QA/QC production engineering should decide on scheduling of the activity. There should be a contingency plan in case any cycle fails to meet the acceptance criteria or for any other unavoidable reasons. Cleaning of equipment may be the responsibility of the shop floor operator, but it is the responsibility of the supervisor to ensure that the equipment is cleaned adequately and checked visually. This type of clarity should be captured in the responsibility matrix. Sampling may be done by a trained QC analyst in the presence of a QA supervisor. Testing will be the total responsibility of QC. After that, the review should be done by all department heads and final approval should be done by QA. All these aspects have to be captured in a nice self-explanatory matrix table. The scope 9.3 of the protocol prescribes the range of activities that are planned in the protocol. They include a visual test, chemical evaluation, microbiological evaluation, number of batches or cycles, batch numbers consecutive, and analytical method. The scope by definition encompasses many activities which are as follows. A visual inspection to confirm that the equipment is obviously clean without any residues sticking inside the equipment. Chemical evaluation on the amount of the residue of API, intermediate or excipients, etc. and microbiological cleanliness wherever applicable and necessary. It is important to establish the amounts of detergents used for cleaning. If the detergents used are solvents and if they are part of the list of solvents used in the process, they may be avoided. This is because there will be screening for residual solvents in the final product. Number of cleaning cycles also have to be mentioned. Batch numbers after which the cleaning cycles are done should also be listed. The number of cycles and batch numbers should be 3 minimum for statistical evaluation. However, more data may be obtained from a greater number of cycles and batches. The results will be more accurate if more number is selected. The validated analytical method also should be mentioned. Detailed sampling procedure in section 9.5 should include procedure on taking swab samples and rinse samples. The sampling procedure should detail on the type of swab, area of swabbing, swabbing technique, etc. in the procedure. A sampling location diagram should be clearly available in the procedure. The location diagram should be based on the outcome of the risk assessment report. Guideline prescribes that samples should be removed from the locations on the equipment deemed to be worst case, that is most difficult to clean locations and therefore where product is most likely to reside if cleaning has not been adequate. It is important that these locations have been determined scientifically and can be rationalized if necessary. Similarly, there should be a detailed stepwise procedure for sampling the rinse water or solvent. Guideline prescribes that the volume of the liquid used to rinse the equipment should be detailed. The volume must be shown to be sufficient to cover all the product contact surfaces of the equipment. The volumes of the rinse samples should also be stipulated in the protocol. Testing procedure is provided in section 9.6. There should be a reference to the validated analytical method to estimate the previous product cleaned for residues and cleaning agents. Testing procedure should be validated. It is important that LOD and LOQ values are focused more as we are trying to estimate microgram or nanogram level impurity. If any compendial method is used for this, its capability on LOD and LOQ should be verified. Verification activity should be definitely done as per USP chapter 1226. Though it is a part of the validation, analytical method validations are not discussed in this video. However, there is yet another video that discusses on the analytical method validations. You may refer that particular video for more details. The guideline also prescribes that the limit of quantitation and detection as well as percent recovery for the tests being performed. If microbial testing is done, total bacterial count should be done. Acceptance criteria 9.7 is the final concluding step and should include visual inspection and swab and rinse data. Initially, the equipment should be checked for physical cleanliness. It is important to have detailed procedure. The procedure may include usage of adequate light to be able to check the entire cleaned equipment. This is the first step. After that, the swab data and rinse data should be checked for compliance. Microbial results also should be a part of the final report if applicable. It is expected that along with the data on the previous product residues, there should not be any traces of detergents. But most of the detergents are surface actants and easily washable by adequate amount of water. If there are any solvents like methanol or acetone used as detergents, there should be a provision to determine if any traces of solvents present after the cleaning. Let us try to understand the importance of dirty hold times and clean hold times. Dirty hold time is the period and when appropriate condition of storage of equipment before cleaning after the process. Dirty hold time is important to establish if there are any additional buildup of degradants when the equipment is not cleaned immediately and had to be retained for cleaning after certain time of the process. Clean hold time is the time between cleaning and reuse. Clean hold time is the time until which period the equipment is suitable for next use or any additional cleaning is necessary. This is particularly important when the equipment is finally rinsed out with water, because any traces of water present for more than 24 hours, there is a potential buildup of microbiological contamination. Deviation reporting in section 9.8 and revalidation in section 9.9 requirements also have to be part of the validation report. There should be a provision to report any deviation either in operations, especially with regard to the effectiveness of the cleaning validation and with regard to the CAPA. You can have a reference number which connects you to the detailed deviation investigation and subsequent CAPA report. This is part of section 9.8 in the guideline. Revalidation in case of any changes in the process or equipment or any other critical systems should be discussed in another section as prescribed in section 9.9 of the guideline. As explained earlier, the APIC guide should be used as a base and suitable detailed tailor-made validation protocol should be drafted. I hope that the details of the validation protocol are explained to your understanding. It is important that the validation protocol has adequate details so that the cleaning validation intent is understood fully. Never draft a validation protocol for the sake of it. It should be a full detailed document reviewed and upgraded by incorporating important inputs from all functions of the manufacturing. Attach all necessary supporting documents so that the validation protocol is comprehensive. Thanks for watching. For more videos, please do subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.